for our players. You know, I greatly appreciate what they've invested, you know, this entire year, in particular the past couple of weeks, to improve in a tough situation. You know, let's be honest. We know when you're losing games, it's real easy to cave. It's real easy to submit and give in. And none of these guys do that. You know, they worked their tail off, and it was, you know, a great investment by them, and it hurts. And, you know, I feel for them. And I want to thank, you know, the fans that have supported us during some tough times, and I get it. I really acknowledge that. But it's about the University of Kentucky. It's about these players. And, you know, I understand, you know, the position I put people in to make a decision, and that's on me. But I greatly appreciate the support for our team and for our players. They deserve an environment like that. And yes, we deserve to win, and I want to do that for them, for the fans. But I appreciate it because I thought it was a great environment. Fun place to play. And again, our team played exceptionally hard for a long time and put a lot into it. So again, just thanks to the fans and creating a great environment and giving us an opportunity and a chance to help us win. Our players for working exceptionally hard. We came up 6 inches short. I'm sure that may be the first question or two to ask me about whether I regret or not going for that. But you know, there's always decisions that I can definitely second guess myself on, but not that one. I wanted to go to play to win, and we played well the entire game and had a great opportunity, 6 inches, you know, whatever, half yard to win. You know, put yourself in a position to win the game. So we came up short, and that hurts. But again, I appreciate our players and our coaches have worked really hard we're getting better, and I know that's, you know, you could look at the bottom line, and we all do. It's a bottom line business, and I understand that as much as anybody. I've been around a long time, but I, you know, really care about the way they approach things, the way they invest, you know, how they work, and the improvement that we're making. And we've improved each and every week, you know, through this SEC schedule. So, unfortunately, we came up short, and that hurts.
Mark, the short yardage situations were such a problem last year. It felt like you got them fixed. So how frustrating was it both on the first drive and in overtime not to be able to come through?
It really was. It was frustrating, and we had worked extremely hard to get that fixed. We've been very efficient this year. Did some self-scout and did some work during the bye week to look at all that, and we knew, you know, going against a team like this, that they are extremely stout, you know, very physical. You know, early, I didn't want to burn a timeout early there, but the ball was marked a little shorter than I originally looked at it when they were walking out, and so we had called a play, and I didn't want to burn a timeout early, so. Wish I could reverse those calls, hand it off with the belly on the third down, and maybe sneak it on fourth. But yeah, we weren't effective. And again, I got to credit, you know, Texas and them and their defense and their team for finding a way to win, you know, in a tough game.
Were those 2 runs to Dante, were they designed for him to leap? Was that part of it?
No, I mean, it wasn't. I think on the first one he was very close on that leap, you know, and you know, on the next one I felt like they were ready for the leap, you know, but they were definitely creating some push down low as well.
Or with the field goal at the end of the game, I think there was 14 seconds left. Did you consider taking a shot at the end zone there, or did you want to make sure you shot it?
I wanted to make sure. I mean, that's tough. I mean, I don't want to put down our offense because they, you know, had 26 first downs and 400 yards and did, you know, I thought had an exceptional game plan, moved the ball very well, but scoring in that situation is a touchdown is very tough. I mean, if I don't get the 3, then will I even walk in here?
Mark, what'd you see on the 2 punt returns?
Yeah, not good. You know, dynamic returner. We knew that going into it. You know, our coverage units have been so good, and a lot of that has to do with our punters and our kickers have been good. They're dynamic in the return game and very skilled, you know, and guys made some guys miss. They made some people miss.
What did you think of what Cutter did
I was very impressed with Cutter. Very impressed because, you know, there was a couple things early and, you know, we're coaching him and talking to him, but he's learning and staying positive and working very hard. But I thought, you know, the completion percentage, you know, against him to go 31 to 39, you know, was impressive. And I like to see that. You know, we need our completion percentage to keep on increasing, and it's doing that. And he's a big reason why. So I thought he was very comfortable. I thought we had time in the pocket, even though we did give up, you know, a decent amount of sacks. But you know, we created some on the other side as well. It's hard. And but I thought, you know, for throwing it during their 40 times there, probably more than that with the scrambles. But the protection was pretty decent. And I thought I liked the way he was hanging in the pocket and hitting some unders, hitting some crossing routes and different things to move the chains. And he was operating very efficiently.
Can you talk just a little bit about his running game? Because it felt like a couple of times he was dead to rights and was still able to get out of there.
Yeah, I love that. You know, he's just playing ball. And you watch a lot of football, you see it all the time, right? In college and in pros, and guys just playing ball. And the more he's out there, the more he's playing, the more comfortable he's getting and just getting off schedule. And, you know, he's generally very accurate also when he's moving, when he's on the move. And but to scramble and actually get positive yardage is really good to see.
What can you say about your defense after, you know, a couple of performances that were below substandard to come out and play like
You know,
that today?
I really greatly appreciate the way they responded. You know, we thought we were getting DJ back, and then he got a little setback really pregame. I was told as I was getting ready that I wasn't able to go. And, you know, that hurt, but guys stepped up. They played a lot of snaps, and they have a lot of character. They responded the way we expect them to, played extremely hard, and coaches did a great job. Brad and Bush had a great offensive plan as well. You know, we were very efficient. Again, 26 first downs against that defense is pretty impressive, and that's hard to do, and it gives us opportunities. You know, explosive plays are tough. K-Law gave us an opportunity to win the game there in overtime, and appreciate his effort and his passion and how hard he plays.
Mark, when you guys do have 400 yards of offense and 26 first downs, you know, we talked about the short yardage. Is there anything else from the offense there they got to do to get it in the end zone or finish those drives off better outside of the short yardage?
Of course, I mean, yes, you want it at times, and we talked about it throughout the game. I can't give you exact scenarios now, but in that striking distance of trying to create some shots, you know what I mean, once you get in the high red or in the red, you know, to get the ball in the end zone. Again, you're playing a very good defense, but yeah, there's things we can do better and be more efficient. You know, and the negative yardage plays hurt us as well, just throughout the game. You know, in some 3-and-out situations, you know, we get losing 5 yards on first or second down, and that hurts. But you know, you got to try, right? You watch football, everybody is getting the ball in the perimeter and you know, doing different things, and we've been affected that way. But tonight they played it extremely well. Again, credit them. We try to do some perimeter things, and they were hitting us in the backfield and losing yardage, and that gets frustrating. And then you start saying, you know, run the ball downhill, downhill, downhill. Well, that's hard to do against them as well.
Mark, we'd already seen how Seth can run the ball this season, but how much of a spark do you feel like he was in the passing game tonight?
Yeah, he's a very good player. He left the game for a while to get checked and get an x-ray, and played through some being banged up again, and appreciate him in coming back and doing what he can do to help us win. But very good football player, very tough, and again, you know how physical it is out there, and for him to go to the hospital and come back and finish, it says a lot about him.
Mark, I know you guys ended up scoring on the next drive that you got the ball back, but can you walk us through what maybe the officials were telling you there when it looked like they had multiple extra players on the field, but they call a false start? Like, can you walk us through that?
Well, it makes no difference if they have 12 or 13 if we move, okay? Doesn't matter. So that's one thing, but you know, what I was upset about is I felt like the defensive end what caused us to move, you know, was in the neutral zone, you know, so I don't know.
Mark, you had back-to-back games or end of halves. You moved the ball well, but end up with 0 points. What does it say about your offense that you get another 2-minute drive and you actually are able to finish it off with points?
Yeah, it was really good to see. You know, I think, again, you're seeing progress and improvement. I think Cutter and his comfort level and just going through the operation, trusting that he's gonna have protection, delivering the football on schedule, you know, is really good to see. And he was quick. And, you know, Bush has been working hard with him about, you know, his reads and his progression, but, you know, trying to operate fast, you know, and, you know, get through his reads and get rid of the ball, you know. And he's improved. We've improved. And it was good to see us hit that ball through at the end of regulation. Appreciate Jacob as well, because he missed one earlier, but came back and hit that one through.
Mark, a heartbreaking loss like this with all the stuff you were talking about swirling around, is it encouraging to your players, or does it make it even harder that you weren't able to?
It hurts, but they see the investment. They clearly know the difference between, you know, what they put into it and what they, you know, when they don't. And it's gonna hurt, but there's no other option. You know what I mean? There's no other option than to do that. And, you know, that as a coach and is, you know, for us and going to work every day and coaching them every day, that's what matters. You know, sometimes, I mean, listen, I don't wanna act like the results don't matter, cause they do. But what I can control is the way they approach things and do things and you know, what their mindset's like, and they are invested. That was an emotional locker room, as passionate, as emotional as I've seen them in a while, in a positive way, of really strongly encouraging guys and not handling things the wrong way, because there's no option.
Okay, folks, need to go ahead and cut it off. We've got players and coaches waiting in the dining hall.